In 2004, a reclusive Russian mystic named Vadim Zeland published a book that claimed we could control reality itself. He called it reality transurfing, a blueprint to bend the fabric of existence. But just as he was about to prove it, he vanished. No trace, no goodbye. Was he silenced for uncovering the truth, or did he step out of our reality altogether?
Vadim Zeland wasn't a prophet or a guru. He was a scientist, a quantum physicist who once worked in the Soviet Union's secretive labs. But something changed him. By the early 2000s, he was writing about a radical idea. Reality is a simulation, a matrix of infinite possibilities we can shape with our minds. His book, Reality Transurfing, sold millions, promising readers they could choose their own destiny. But Zeland wasn't just theorizing. He claimed he'd seen it work, guided by a mysterious mentor who could manipulate reality itself. And then, in 2015, just as he planned a global experiment to prove it, he disappeared. What happened to Vadim Zeland? Did he uncover a truth too dangerous to share? Or did he master his own teachings and slip into another reality? This is the story of a man who dared to rewrite the rules of existence and paid the ultimate price.
Vadim Zeland's story begins in the 1970s in the heart of the Soviet Union. Born in Russia with a quarter Estonian heritage, he was a quiet, brilliant mind drawn to the mysteries of quantum physics. He studied particles, probabilities, and the strange ways the universe behaves when observed. But a personal tragedy reshaped his path. At 25, his older sister, Elena, died suddenly in a car accident. The loss hit him hard. Why did reality seem so cruel, so random? He threw himself into his work, earning degrees in physics and computer science. But the more he studied, the more he felt science alone couldn't explain the chaos of life. By the 1990s, after the Soviet Union's collapse, Zeland was adrift, disillusioned with rigid academia and searching for answers beyond equations. That's when he met her.
Her name was Irina Volkovna, known to locals as Baba Irina, a healer and mystic who claimed to channel ancient Slavic wisdom. On paper, she was a retired school teacher, but whispers followed her, tales of curing illnesses, predicting events, even vanishing when authorities came knocking. Zeland, skeptical but curious, accepted her invitation to witness her work. What he saw shattered his worldview. Irina didn't use medicine or tools, just her mind. Zeland documented her miracles in notebooks, a blind man regaining sight, a barren woman conceiving, a dying patient breathing again. He wrote that Irina could access the space of variations, a field of infinite realities where she chose the outcome she wanted. It sounded like science fiction, but Zeland saw it as quantum physics in action.
By 2004, Zeland poured his findings into Reality Transurfing, a 5-volume series that exploded across Russia and beyond. It wasn't just a self-help book, it was a manifesto. He argued that reality is a hologram, a matrix of information called the space of variations. Our consciousness acts like a projector, selecting which frame of reality we experience. Want wealth? Love? Health? Focus your intention, not your desire, and reality shifts to match.
Zeland's ideas were radical, but grounded in logic. He cited quantum mechanics, where observation collapses probabilities into reality. He claimed shamans like Irina were code writers, hacking the matrix to create miracles. Readers were electrified. One wrote, "It's like waking up inside a dream you can control." But not everyone was thrilled. Academia dismissed him as a crackpot. Colleagues mocked his pseudoscience. Zeeland didn't care. He was done with their rules. He retreated deeper into his work, planning an experiment to prove transurfing wasn't just theory, it was real.
Zeeland's boldest claim was that human minds are connected through a universal field, the Matrix's source code. To prove it, he designed an experiment. Two people, meditating to align their consciousness, would be separated. One would be exposed to stimuli, flashes, sounds, while the other's brain waves were monitored. If their minds were truly linked, both brains would react simultaneously. In 25% of trials, it worked. The second person's brain showed identical patterns, as if they felt the stimuli across space. Zeeland called it telepathic entanglement, proof of a shared consciousness shaping reality. He published his findings in an obscure journal, but the scientific community scoffed. Unreproducible, they said, a parlor trick. But someone was paying attention. Declassified documents later revealed that Russia's FSB, the successor to the KGB, had taken an interest in Zeeland's work. During the Cold War, the Soviets explored psychic phenomena, remote viewing, mind control. Zeeland's experiments echoed their secret projects. Was he on their radar?
By 2015, Zeeland was a cult figure. His books were translated into 20 languages, his ideas spreading like wildfire. But he remained elusive, avoiding interviews and photos. "I am nobody," he'd say, claiming he was just a retranslator of ancient truths. Then he announced his biggest experiment yet, a global meditation in Kathmandu, Nepal, to prove transurfing on a massive scale. He wanted hundreds of people across continents to meditate simultaneously, their brainwaves monitored to show a global consciousness link. If it worked, it would be undeniable proof we live in a simulation, and that we can control it. But days before the event, on December 10, 2015, Zeeland vanished. His daughter, Anya, a musician with a small following, waited for him at a cafe in Moscow. He never showed. 4 days later, she reported him missing. The media buzzed. Had Zeeland fled, been abducted, or wilder still, had he followed Irina's teachings and exited the Matrix?
Disappearance with Zeal. He checked passport records. No trace of Zeeland leaving Russia. He scoured Kathmandu. No witnesses, no leads. Then a breakthrough. A woman in Tallinn, Estonia, claims she saw Zeeland in a park, trailed by two men in dark coats. She recognized him from a rare photo in a transurfing book. He looked scared, she said, like he knew they were there. Volkov dug deeper, contacting a former FSB contact. The response was chilling. Stop asking about Zeeland. Volkov was pulled from the case the next day. His files? Lost. The investigation? Buried. Then came the whispers about Zeeland's wife, Marina. She joined his circle late, a charismatic woman with a murky past. Zeeland's sister claimed Marina was controlling, jealous of his fame. Months before he vanished, Zeeland stopped sleeping at home, crashing in his car. After his disappearance, Marina cashed a $2,000 check and was spotted in Sochi with a mysterious woman. A year later, she vanished too.
What happened to Vadim Zeeland? Here are the theories. The FSB silenced him. Zeeland's experiments mirrored Soviet psychic research. Did he get too close to a truth the government wanted buried? The FSB's interest and Volkov's removal suggest a cover-up. But why make him a martyr, fueling his myth? He escaped the Matrix. Like Irina, who vanished when authorities closed in, Zeeland might have mastered transurfing and stepped into another reality. His followers believe he's living in a better variant, free from our world's chaos. Marina's betrayal.
Was Marina a plant sent to control or eliminate him? Her fake credentials and erratic behavior, telling one person Zeeland was in Siberia, another he was in Nepal, point to deception. Did she make him disappear? He chose to vanish. Zeeland hated fame. Maybe he staged his disappearance to live quietly, letting his ideas spread through the mystery. But would he abandon Anya, his daughter, without a word?
Zeeland's ideas live on. Reality transurfing has millions of followers from Moscow to Miami. Scientists now take the simulation hypothesis seriously. Nick Bostrom, Elon Musk, and others echo Zeeland's claims. But his experiments? Never replicated. His proof? Lost with him. His disappearance is the ultimate paradox. By vanishing, Zeeland became bigger than his ideas. Did he prove we live in a simulation by escaping it? Or was he a dreamer who got too close to a truth someone wanted hidden? What do you think happened to Hadim Zeeland? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you felt a chill watching this, hit that subscribe button. We're diving deeper into reality's mysteries every week.